Russ, thank you so much for letting us be here today. This is awesome. I love your place.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
So tell me, where did you live before you moved to Roswell?
I lived in a small town called Greenwich, Connecticut for about 2.5 years. So I was transferred up there right before COVID and got to spend some great time there with my kids.
So what made you move to Roswell from Greenwich, Connecticut?
Job transfer. And my family's here, so you got to go where your family is. So I have 4 wonderful kids, and they're all in the area.
So the area drew you, Roswell drew you. Did you look anywhere else other than Roswell, or you just chose?
In one day, your team took me to 9 locations. We started at like 8 in the morning, and we finished like at 7. And we literally went to downtown Alpharetta, we went to Milton, we went to Avalon, and then we went to Roswell. So we hit them all in one day, and this was the last place that we looked. And my son, who was 16 at the time, who went with us, okay, a little begrudgingly on that trip.
I can imagine.
We ended here, and all of us love this place the best. Save the best for last.
So we're right, just to give a lay of the land, we're right off Canton Street. There's a new Cherries and Mary, which was the old custard cottage right outside. That's a new concept that Gracious Plenty is developing. We've got Fickle Pickle right here, so you're in the middle of everything. Is that what you love? Because you talked about master communities.
I did, and that's a really good point. So in Greenwich, what I loved there, and this is the first time I had experience, and I would literally walk out of this great 1940s kind of retro apartment, kind of walk out, and everything you need is there. You had the library there, you had dozens and dozens of restaurants, dozens and dozens of shops, and it was kind of eclectic. It wasn't master planned, and you would walk right down the hill and bam, the train to the city 30 minutes away. So I just love the ability to walk and go places, but more importantly, it was kind of eclectic. It wasn't master planned. So I spent some time in Vegas, and everything there was laid out. And that's fine for some people, no judgment at all. But I just really appreciated, like in Roswell, where you get houses that were converted to businesses. And then people are buying houses and retrofitting them. That really speaks well to the neighborhood. People want to be here. People desire to be here, and they're buying nice properties and redoing them. So that just to me was interesting, and everything is walkable. Like literally right outside on the deck there is the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Okay, across the street are restaurants, and you've just got a really good plethora, really is the word I'm looking for, of great restaurants to go to and things to do. And
so this specific unit, what made you choose the townhome that we're in right now?
I just thought it was a little less traditional than everything else that you see. Mm-hmm. And it just speaks to you. When you walk into a place, sometimes you just don't, oftentimes there's no rules or understanding. You're like, I just like it.
Yeah, and we're in Blacksmith Row, right off Canton Street.
We are.
So a lot of times not everyone knows what they want until they see it. So what did you specifically need that you found here?
Well, after Greenwich, I really like the ability to walk and be able to go places. Like I could just walk right out my door, and anything that I needed was accessible. And I didn't want it to be master planned. It's just a preference that I have. I feel it's a little bit more home feeling when you have that. And I just saw a lot of families and children walking back and forth, where some of the other communities, they're awesome, but there was just a different demographic in there.
So obviously we're standing by some amazing art, and I remember you telling me you loved this unit because you actually had a place to share your art and put it, get it around your family and surround yourself with it. So tell us a little bit about what this unit meant to you with the artwork that you have.
Well, it was just an open area, and I love a big open area. And I've got 4 kids, and I love it when they're here, and I want them to have enough room so they can hang out and enjoy themselves, and when they get mad at each other, they can go their separate ways until they can cool down a little bit.
So that's exactly what this space, you didn't have the typical TV here.
No,
it feels like an art gallery. You've got all of your families. You said your dad did all of this art.
He did. So I'd be happy to share So, if you would, this camera here was my dad and mom spent. Dad spent 6 to 7 years in Europe, and mom, at the age of 19, graduated college and taught for the Department of Defense from the time she was 20 till she was 30. So she was there almost a decade, never came home. And they lived in Europe, and this is the camera my dad had in Europe. And these are some of the photos he took. These are contact sheets, and paper was the most expensive thing that, it was the most expensive part of developing film back in the day. So you'd put a whole bunch of photos on a contact sheet. I had my dad's contact sheets, which were really his garbage, right? Until he picked the photos he wanted, all digitized. And I blew them up. So here you could see the little Kodak piece in it. You could see my mom and dad at a cafe in Paris with the camera facing the mirror and the waitress sitting there. I think that's just so cool. Here's my dad just bumming around Paris with one of his friends, just shooting as you would your iPhone today. And again, that's the camera he used. And if you come over here to the black and whites, these are the photos that Dad actually not only took, but he printed them on the photos. And you can see on the back his little notes from each of the places he went. So it's really meaningful to me as Dad was over there. And what we did is the artist who did that, Julia Gentry, okay, out of New Hampshire. This is a photo Dad took, and we had it put in the lens.
Wow.
And my brother has that camera. He's actually shipping it back to me. So I just love photography.
And everything has a meaning. So that's what I was going to mention when you were saying how you love this space for all of your art, because you've traveled everywhere. You have a lot of things. And you really wanted to be able to get what you enjoyed the most with your travels and have somewhere to put it all and enjoy it.
That's absolutely the case. So when you have 4 kids, you travel a lot, and we spent a lot of time on experiences. And one of my favorite is there's a bookshelf.
Oh, that's right.
There.
This is your museum tower.
Every place that we've been able to visit as kids. And sometimes I'd take one of the kids out of school, and we just get in an airplane and go someplace for a week. And we'd come back, and all of the books from everywhere we've been, it's just great to have them in one spot.
And Russ, your other favorite spot?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the porch.
So this is awesome because the doors open up, and it's like just a huge window.
And it opens it up for everybody to come in and out of.
This is gorgeous.
Thank you. This is everybody's favorite room.
This is exactly what you want to feel like when you come out here. So it's outside and inside. You've got the fire going. There's a TV. I can see one.
There's a great porch outside where you just go outside and you can see all the families coming and going. On Sundays, they're all heading to breakfast at Fellows.
Well, the minute I went back out to the car, I could smell all the food starting for lunch.
It's not always healthy. No. It's not always healthy.
You'll gain weight when you live here.
That's why I got a puppy. It keeps me exercising. But what's important to me is if you see something that you really like, my advice is to get it, because there's a couple pieces that I saw when I traveled that I really wish, I just wish I would have gotten it. Mm-hmm. So if you see something that you like and you're passionate about, just get it, because chances are if you don't, you're going to regret it. So pieces like this sunflower, we got in Birmingham probably 20 years ago, but I just fell in love with it, and I got it. I've never regretted it. I always regret the things that I don't.
So not just art, but your property too, because this is what you fell in love with when you bought the property.
Well, it was the property. Absolutely. It was the property, absolutely, but it was the environment that surrounded the property that gave this great energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is great because your family can all congregate here. This is where your TV is. You've got another TV downstairs to watch games. So what would you say, Russ, from all of this moving with your 4 children, relocating your family, what have you learned with everything that you've been through?
2, less is, no, really 1, less is more, right? But 2 is find things that speak to you, that you believe in, that you feel, and get them and display them in your home.
And you had to get rid of a lot, and then you just kept what you enjoyed.
We've moved a lot. Okay, I still have, the boxes from 4 moves ago with the different color cape, and you just realize that after a while, if it's been in a box for 4 moves, how much do you really need it? But it's finding those things that are meaningful to you and displaying them in a way that celebrates the memory behind it. And the other thing I've learned is you don't have to rush to get things done. Like, I got to get everything decorated, got it all. No, take your time, find pieces that are meaningful, find things that are meaningful, and then when you see them, you'll know. You don't have to rush it. And I think a lot of times people just rush so they feel like it's done, but it's more of a baking process. You just got to let it cook for a little bit.
Oh, I love it. I love that. And you do have a favorite piece we'll show in just a second.
I do have a favorite piece.
This is your favorite piece.
It is.
This is a Banksy.
It is, and it's from his Disneyland collection, which is where he made a pretend parody on Disneyland somewhere in England. It had rides and attractions, but it was just this great parody, and this is one of the pieces from that creation or that expression of his art.
So it's signed.
It is a
What did you
signed
say
print.
comes with the signed pieces?
They have this really cool certificate of authenticity. So he draws his own bills, okay? Parody again, and he rips one of them in half, and there's a number on the certificate of authentication and then one in their archive. So that's how they verify it. So it's just a cool way, an artsy way of, knowing what you got is real.
So you saw this, you said you saw this one time.
I saw it at auction. All right, I was familiar with his Disneyland efforts.
The Disneylands.
And it was available, and I was able to pick it up at auction.
Wow. Thanks, Russ. We'll see you soon.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Don't miss another video visit. Click to subscribe and have Behind the Curtain virtually delivered from our doorstep to yours.